Hi, I'm Marla Wilkinson, and I want to say it is great to meet you, even if we are in this virtual setting still. And I'm so grateful and glad to have your student in English 1 this year. I am going to tell you a bit about myself and about the class and show you by walking you through a Padlet. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you right now. This video will be about 5 to 10 minutes long and should give you some great information about the class and what you can expect and your student can expect from English 1 this semester. I hope you can see my Padlet now. I'll go back and check, of course. So this is a mosaic that I made of tiles that represent English 1 this year. In the corner over here, I have a little bit about myself. My name's Ms. Wilkinson to the kids, and I love to travel. I've been teaching for 10 years, and this is my this is my second year at Wilson High School. I love to teach from home. I have a little space I've got going in my kitchen, dining room area. Yes, that's a huge rooster on the wall. We just got a huge piece from eBay that's really colorful and fun. So I just have this great little space that I like to create my lessons in and just enjoy my teaching role. I love teaching. Like I said, I've been doing it 10 years. English this year, a lot of people ask or may wonder, you may wonder, what on earth does my student do in their English class? Well, the way that I generally organize the curriculum is, of course, I have to look at the Oregon State Standards. So the first thing I do is I map out the standards, and I included a link here to the Common Core Standards. If you go down here, you can come back when the video is over and just simply link on this Google page copy here, and it will open up and show you Oregon State Standards for 9th grade, the most recent data or decision that they have for that this year. I also have here some information. Again, I'm Marla Wilkinson. I've also taught English to grades 8 through 12 so far in my career. Love teaching. I plan to incorporate a lot of variety into the curriculum. I love to introduce all types of readings that are different lengths. So we will do full novels, short stories, and some excerpts or pieces out of notable works. Even some poetry. So right now, even we are looking at a couple different poems that go with the theme of our first unit. Sometimes we'll watch videos and clips that support our content. Unit themes center on topics that are quite relatable and of concern generally to young adults, such as self-identity and social justice. One of the first things that we are doing, well, and the name of our first unit indeed, is Unit 1, Self-Identity, Getting Beyond the Single Story, and Examining Narrative Technique. In this unit, students will be asked to kind of do a self-reflection, think about who they are, how they are seen in the world around them, and what types of stereotypes they might experience, and how they can get beyond single stories around them, of people around them, and sort of look at work that breaks stereotypes. We did look at, as I was saying, a couple poems that did that already. 2 by Emily Dickinson, and we read one by Langston Hughes that talked a lot about how he saw himself in comparison to a college professor that he wrote his poem for. We will also read a poem by Maya Angelou soon, probably next week. Right now, we are writing an autobiography. I'm sure your student has mentioned it to you. It's very important that students write a little bit about themselves, and I did an autobiography for college, and I am so glad. It really taught me a lot about my experiences growing up that I had never examined previously. If you'd like to see a full schedule or most recent of the lessons we've been working on the last 2 weeks, please click on this link right here. Again, it's just simply an image of a Google page, but when you click on it, it will open up to a PowerPoint, and you will be able to see what we have been working on and where we are headed. Every unit that we do will include opportunities to write a lengthy essay that applies critical analysis of texts and issues that we have studied. So usually a unit will culminate and end with this paper in which they will analyze certain aspects of the readings that we've done and apply real world and contemporary views into that work as well. We will also examine a wide variety of writers from all over the world, or certainly from different ethnic backgrounds, genders, and hopefully a wide diversity of viewpoints. One is Sandra Cisneros. She is a Latina writer who wrote a great short story called Woman Hollering Creek. We will read it. It is also it touches really deeply on the whole theme of identity, as it's about a young girl who believes that her life will be a certain way and is confronted by the reality that she has to really examine who she is in the face of the society around her. We're also going to do a project starting next week called the Humans of Portland Project. You may have heard of the Humans of New York Project. It is a huge project that launched in New York with some artists that focused and featured sort of, your everyday individuals that seemingly when you pass these people in the street, you don't think much of it. But when they're featured in their own story with photos and a narrative, you really, it's really clear to us how important, unique, and individual each person is. The students will interview each other and use photos and quotes and paraphrasing of interviews to piece together a page much like the one you're looking at now on Padlet, so that we can celebrate the individuals in our class for the dynamic people that they are and that they are becoming. If you want to know more about that project, within that PowerPoint up here, there is a link to the Humans of New York website, and you can play around with that right here and see some of the amazing images and stories that have been collected there. I'm spending a lot of time walking you through our first unit in great detail. As we progress through and I tell you the other units that we're going to do, I won't add as much detail in, but definitely I'll let you know what they are in this presentation. So another aspect of Unit 1 is that we are going to study narrative structure and technique. We ask ourselves, what makes a good story? How are stories organized? I'm going to really press upon how important details are, how students should show and not tell, imagery, pieces of information about how things look, sensory details. We will also read excerpts from some of literature's best storytellers. Again, a variety of men and women from all different backgrounds who are excellent in their craft of telling stories. We may look at some works of Tom Robbins, Kate Chopin, Frank McCourt, Isabel Allende, Amy Tan, and Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, And we'll see if we have time, right, to do all this, of course. Also, Kurt Vonnegut, Ovid. Like I said, the curriculum, at any time, I will be flexible enough to have to curtail it depending on the needs of the students in our virtual environment. Some things we may have to omit. Doubtful we'll have time to add anything at this point. I do have a lot to work with so far. But at any point, if the students need, we will omit some different readings or activities for the sake of time. As we move into Unit 2, we will also be looking at a couple different writers. And Unit 2 is called All American Boys and Social Justice. The anchor text here is a story about a boy who is the victim of a major event where the community must come together on his behalf and make a decision whether they're going to be an ally to support him or how they will react, in fact, to this event and the fact that they all know him or know of him. So it asks us, what do we do in a small community when something happens that is not socially just, and how do we react? We will also look at some works by Ta-Nehisi Coates, who writes about the experience of being Black in America, and just some different works that talk about social justice and ask us again to examine the issue from different perspectives. In Unit 3, we'll do a shift over to Animal Farm. Yes, the classic by George Orwell. And we will talk about allegory and how it functions as social criticism in literature. The students will read Animal Farm for that unit. And this is the unit also where I believe we will still be engaged in literature circles. In October, the students will each start reading a book. I know I have that tile here somewhere. And in that book, they will spend time, bam, it's right over here. Okay. They will read that book with a small group. The small group will work together to make extensive meanings from that novel and work through issues that are presented in the book. This will probably culminate in a presentation, either a PowerPoint or Prezi presentation that the class or the group puts together to present to the rest of the class. We'll be doing that roughly around the same time we'll be ending Unit 2 and starting Unit 3. Finally, at the end of this semester, we will move into our final Unit 4, which is Romeo and Juliet, Sonnets and Understanding Shakespeare. So we will read the play together, look at certain signature writing strategies that are primarily Shakespeare, either he created them, as he is the creator of a lot of different language and vocabulary of the English language. Sonnets, if we have time, we will examine his sonnets and the different patterns of a sonnet and just some of the different techniques there as well. I just walked you through a basic structure of what the semester will look like. Again, we will examine so many different types of writing from a lot of different people and backgrounds represented there, as well as giving students the chance to work on their writing skills following the Oregon State Writing Rubric, and then including four units total, and each unit really quite unique unto itself and different from the unit before. If you'd like to know anything more about the curriculum, please email me. Or if you would like to talk about anything else, concerns about your individual student, anything that comes to mind, I'm at mwilkinson@pps.net. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching the video.